And now we have candidate Johnson.
Candidate Johnson is saying this about his friends in Stanley County. I've said this once, I'll say it again. If I win, I'm changing my name to Stanley. That's how nice it's been to come back here so many times. Meet really what I think really is what I would call just the mainstream of America, of what America is all about, at least the America that I remember. Serving 4 years in the Marine Corps, proudly serving my country, spent many nights in a foxhole, but you always did it, as any military man or woman would tell you, because of a sense of pride in what we thought at the time was a great country. And now we see this great country under assault. It's under assault from within, really. It's in Washington, where things are happening out there that, quite frankly, we don't understand. We see the hubris, the arrogance of a Congress that doesn't listen to the American people. 65% of the American people said, we don't want this health care bill. You know, you saw the numbers. Nancy Pelosi said, we don't care what you think. This is just going to open the door. We're moving forward with that, and we'll make other changes as well. $1 trillion in new taxes. Social Security going broke, giving out more money than it's taking in. Jobs being lost, no recovery in sight. Gas prices going to be up to $3.50 by Labor Day, or even $4. We sit on tons and tons of wonderful energy, and we can't go after it because nobody has the gumption in Washington to say, you know what, this is what we need to do. A new poll came out recently that said the American people, by and large, are saying we want energy over the environment. That's not to say that we're saying that we're going to just trash the environment, not at all. We all are environmentalists. We all want to save this wonderful planet. I've got 9 grandchildren, 3 children, 9 grandchildren. And we want to save it for future generations. But our needs right now lie in oil, lie in nuclear energy. And what are we doing? We're doing absolutely nothing to tap into these wonderful natural resources. I have a degree in economics from Lenore Ryan University. The economics that I see in Washington right now match nothing of what I learned in school. I thought I really made a mistake. I called Lenore Ryan and said I need to come back and take the courses again. They said, why, Harold? I said, because what I'm seeing in Washington doesn't match with what I learned. And they laughed and said, trust me, what you learned was right. What they've learned is just so totally wrong in the direction they're headed. We've got to step up, folks. You being here tonight, your friends, we have to send the message. We can no longer sit idly by and worry about it and let somebody else vote, let somebody else do it. The time is now in this great land of ours. We need a shot of Ronald Reagan confidence right now, too, as well. When he would look out at us as a great president and say to all of us, say to every one of us, hey, it's tough right now, but things are going to get better because we are America. We're Americans. We are the most generous, the most benevolent country in the world. People still want to come here and find their success, even though it can be harder and harder. This is still the country that can make you great and make all our children great. But we need to reclaim what we know is ours. And we have to do it. We have to do it now. This next election is going to be so critically important to each and every one of you, each and one of us as well. The time is now, folks. You have to step forward. Tell your friends, tell anybody you can. You've got to make the vote. You've got to make the vote count. Thank you very much.
On this end with Mr. Huddleston, and the question is, do you believe that we should drill and produce oil from the coast of North Carolina just as well as Alaska?
This energy that we sit on in this great country. In Anwar, Alaska, 365 million miles. That's how much area Alaska covers. Alaska has 2,000 miles, an area called Anwar. Back during the Carter administration, the Congress approved drilling in Anwar. President Carter signed off on it. How much oil have we gotten out of Anwar? We could be getting 1 million barrels of oil a day, 20% of our gross domestic production. And it sits and it sits. And in Congress, we do absolutely nothing. Republicans have made a move. I give them a little more credit than Democrats, but they didn't push it hard enough. The oil sitting off the coast of North Carolina, a survey that was done years ago says that North Carolina, not only natural gas, but millions of barrels of oil sitting there. It's revenue. It represents billions of dollars in revenue and good jobs. And what does the governor of North Carolina do? She just appointed another committee to look at the environmental impact. Governor, you've got to step forward because Virginia is going to look for the oil. South Carolina is going to look for the oil. We've got to drill now, folks. It's a necessity for our survival. Thank you.
What are your thoughts on the value-added tax?
How in the world can we be talking about adding another tax to the already overtaxed burden that all of you and all of us suffer in this great land of ours? How can this possibly be? When you're talking about a health care bill that's going to be adding $1 trillion in new taxes, and you're going to yet add another tax, where is it going to stop? When is it going to end? Nancy Pelosi said it best when the health care was passed. We're just opening the door. We are just opening the door. Taxes and more taxes. Is it ever going to end? It will never end until we can get a Republican Congress that's going to say, enough is enough. The burden that's placed on the hardworking, the owners and businesses and people that are producers in this country. We have 50% of the people in the country that pay no tax whatsoever. No tax whatsoever. The burden falling on your shoulders and everybody else's shoulders. Another tax is not the answer. If anything, you want to cut your taxes, do it the right way. Paul Volcker is out there talking about the value-added tax. Everybody gets all excited. I was watching some of the pundits on TV. Oh, wouldn't this be a good thing? Oh, I think America can handle that. No, America can't. Another depressing idea coming from the White House. It just won't work. Thank you.
My name's Dick Storm. I'm a small businessman. Quite frankly, I'm impressed with all of you, and I'd be happy with any one of you getting elected to the 8th District. My question is, what do you think? Is there anything that you can do to appeal to the 50% of the people that are taking more than they are producing? How can, without giving away our values? You know, we've seen George W. Bush and other Republicans try to meet Ted Kennedy and other people part way. How can we appeal to the people that are taking so much and producing so little? One of you guys are going to get elected. You're all great, but we got to get that other 50% somehow, and that's what I'm looking for. How you might do that.
You remember a time growing up, I know I do, I was raised by a grandmother and a wonderful grandfather, and many of you, I think, are of age where you can remember your parents, when it just wasn't fashionable to hold your hand out, no matter how tough things got. There was always a great sense of pride in your family. You did it, you got by. If you ate dry beef 5 days a week, that's what you did. But if you needed help, help was always there. We have lost that great philosophy and that great spirit in this country. You know that and I know that. There are more takers now than givers. It's getting worse every day. How do we change that? How do we get that incentive back? We have to instill the spirit back into the American people, which is lost now in this great land of ours. It's much easier to take than it is to give. That's not the American way. Thank goodness there are many of us, like you, that are still givers. You're still working hard every day for your family and to support your family and your children. That's the answer. We've got to get that incentive back in this great country. Thank you.